If you're struggling in sales, where's one of the first places that you should look at fixing your sales process and why? I'm Scott Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. Now, in any given sales process, there is a structure to it, or there should be a structure to it. I'm going to give you mine for being an in-home sales. You modify accordingly, and I'm going to show you and give you an idea of where I target, where I see salespeople screw up the most. So a lot of in-home sales, you walk in, you've got your rapport building process, and then after that, you've got your discovery phase. After that, you've got your presentation. After that, you have your rolling price, objections, and then closing. However way you want to do it, you can modify it. But I'm gonna share something with you. When I work with salespeople in just about every industry, one of the places that they really struggle with is the second phase in what I would consider my process is the discovery phase. This is where they ask questions. And so, you get into sales long enough, what happens is you stop asking questions and you start assuming like this is the way that I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna make everybody buy this product because it gives me the most amount of commissions. But what you forget is in the discovery phase, your question asking phase, you are giving the buyer the opportunity to discuss what they want. And if you're smart, you're taking notes. So think about it this way. When you go to a big presentation and somebody's in front of the room and they're saying very smart things, you take notes, right? So conversely, if you're sitting down with a buyer and they have something to say, they automatically assume that you believe it's important if you're taking notes on it. Now, I have a weird food allergy. I am allergic to vinegar. Of all the things on the planet, I'm allergic to vinegar. So I want to say in 2010, I went to a really famous restaurant, and one of the things that they do is they teach their servers to do is to memorize the order of everybody at the table and not write anything down. This food allergy really causes me a lot of problems, and I don't like it, okay? And so they went around the table, and the guy comes to me, and there's 20 people in our party, and he looks at me, and he says, okay, what do you have? And I'm like, oh, I'll take the prime rib. And I said, look, like, I don't want a salad. I don't want anything with balsamic vinegar on it. I'm allergic to vinegar. And he goes, okay. And then he walks to the next person. In my mind, I am freaking out. I am having problems because I'm not anywhere near my hotel. I'm not anywhere near anything nice to take care of the issues that I have when I've got food allergies. And your buyer is looking at the same thing. Your buyer's like, how important is this to you really if you're not willing to write it down because I'm saying it, right? So most salespeople, when they're struggling, they skimp out on the discovery phase. They skimp out on writing notes. They try to speed through the process to get to the end to close the deal to make the money. And so what happens is you're giving the buyer the opportunity to be heard. You're giving the buyer the opportunity to be important. You're giving the buyer the opportunity to go, finally, somebody listened to me and hopefully they can take care of my problem and they're not like every other salesperson who's let me down, okay? What you need to know is most salespeople skimp out on the discovery phase because 1, they're not told how important it is. 2, they don't see how important it is. And 3, they don't know that by asking somebody questions, you can go from the point of the sales process where you're gathering facts to turn it emotional and then taking that sales presentation and making an emotional sales presentation. I see this a lot. You want to be really good at sales, you got to get good at your discovery phase. You want to get good at sales, you got to ask really good questions. And the fortune is in the follow-up. So this is where people screw up a lot. They think that the fortune is in the follow-up phone call. That is true. But the fortune is also in the follow-up process to ask a question. It's the question behind the question, right? Because you heard the phrase, people buy with emotions and justify with logic. Well, if you can't get your buyer to the emotional point, you can never get the buyer to buy with emotions and justify with logic because all they're doing is a logical sell. You ever sold to an engineer? Not very much fun. That's a logical sell. In my mind, one of my least favorite buyers to deal with, I can close them, I can deal with them, but one of my least favorite buyers because it's a purely logical sale, okay? So, discovery phase, ask really good questions, ask really good follow-ups, get them to the emotional process. People buy with emotions and justify with logic, so all that content that you got now goes into your sales presentation, now goes into your product demonstration. When salespeople struggle, the first place to look is how is the discovery phase being used as a tool to help close deals. Ask really good questions, ask really good follow-ups, get to the emotion of the buyer, ask emotional questions, get emotional answers. People buy with emotions, justify with logic, put that in your sales presentation, your demonstration, you're good to go. You got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it. And every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent another fantastic video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Aloha.